Welcome to the BuzzBait podcast. New each week. I am your host, Lara. With me today, and probably as always, are my co-hosts, Collin and Meghan. Today, we have something a little different planned. We will not be talking about news or any recent events or anything, but we will be ranking cars by how shitty the drivers are, or how well the drivers are. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so I hope you guys brought your tier lists.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just hop right into it. Meg, would you like to start?
Do you want me, the person who doesn't drive, to start?
I'm the only one here that drives.
Yeah, that's true.
Fantastic. Okay.
So we have a great consensus here, obviously, with one person that drives very regularly and two backseat drivers.
So obviously I have like my opinionated thing, but I had hoped to start with like actual statistics.
Okay,
Ready for some
hit us
shit?
with it.
You ready for some shit? We'll see if this changes any of what you guys already kind of have down on your stuff. But actual statistics, driving incidents per 1,000 drivers, right? And these are considered accidents, DUIs, speeding, and citations, right? Top of the fucking list, Dodge Ram. 33 for every 1,000 drivers. And then Tesla, which doesn't surprise me because of course Tesla is like, I don't need to drive because I fucking it drives itself.
Smarter than everybody else on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both surprised by that because they are supposed to be like safer, but unsurprised because people think they can be dumber because of that. Third, and I don't listen, this is terrible because as a lesbian, I don't need any more fucking stereotypes going around about Subarus, but of course, Subarus are the third ranked with 30 incidents per 1,000 drivers. And then it's Volkswagen, Mazda, then BMW, Lexus, and Infiniti, which is weird because those are all like luxury brands. So,
Right.
it's weird that they're all like ranked almost exactly the same with 27 per 1,000. And then it's like Hyundai, Toyota, Jeep, Kia, and Honda, which are like 25, which is again weird because again it's almost like its own like class of cars, right? Those like mid-range vehicles, your more everyday
Right,
driver.
yeah.
And then with 24, we've got Audi and Benz, and that is Nissan, which is hit or miss because I'm going to share my opinion about Nissan drivers. And then Chevy, so that's with 24. Then Chevy with 23 incidents per 1,000 drivers. And then Ford, Mitsubishi, Volvo, and GMC is 22 drivers, or 22 per 1,000 drivers. And then it's like 21 with like just a Dodge, which is fucking nuts because Dodge Ram, you know what though? Actually, I just thought of this. This includes DUIs, and if you're driving a Dodge Ram pickup truck, you're probably a fucking redneck out there getting a lot of DUIs. Don't want to make those assumptions, but I'm just saying.
All I'm gonna say is that all this information didn't even do any of this statistical stuff. I just went based on my own driving experience.
I just went based on the people I've met.
And it's lining up pretty well.
Right? I that's the thing. So that's why I wanted to give some kind of like actual statistic basis to this though. So that's like Dodge with 21, Acura with 20, and then we've got Chrysler, Lincoln, and Buick with 19, which does surprise me because I feel like the oldest fucking people end up driving Buick sometimes, and they drive
it's
fucking.
Old people always drive one of like 3 cars: Lincolns, Chryslers, which I believe they're made by like the same company, or Buicks.
Which is funny because they're all in this category and they've got 19, so I just don't know if there's fewer of them on the road or what.
Right, because I mean, they're at the age, they buy that car, they're like, I just got a new car! And then, their kid's like, time to take the keys away,
Right, it's like, that's the car that, like, you'll see, like, a Buick, I swear to God, like, an old-ass motherfucking person is gonna drive it, or their grandchild just inherited it,
Yep.
and it's 3 years old and only has 3,000 miles on it.
Yeah, and they're whipping corners at freaking 70 miles per hour.
That's probably what all 19 incidents are for fucking Buicks.
It's just the grandchildren.
Just the grandchildren when they're driving, and one senile motherfucker. And then Cadillacs at 18, Saturns at 17, and Pontiacs and Mercuries down at 16 per 1,000 drivers.
Mercury's probably the lowest because there's barely any of them.
I was gonna say.
I literally again, like, who the fuck drives a Mercury? When do you see a Mercury?
Every once in a blue moon, very, very rarely. But then I'm pretty sure it was early to mid 2000s, the manufacturer was like, we cannot keep making cars. We are not making money.
But yeah, so I wanted to start off with statistics and like actual fucking facts. This is based
Thank you,
on
Meg's Mathematics
2023 source lending tree. So like there's the source. Someone else did that research. I did not get fucking statistics. I just stole it. Somebody else's statistics that they actually put together for something. But yeah, here's the thing. I can absolutely see Dodge Ram, again, being, especially if it's like DUIs are included. Got a bunch of fucking rednecks.
Rednecks?
Yeah, they rednecks. It's a new thing instead of being a redneck.
It's like a juggernaut, but you're redneck.
I was thinking
you would be unstoppable. Oh my god.
But yeah, so I'm not surprised if DUIs and stuff are included, because I can just see drunk as fuck people in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
100%.
With DUIs racking up. And then we of course touched on Tesla. I will say that the Nissan incident one surprises me, because I definitely see Nissan as like a, and my friend's gonna fucking kill me for this because she loves her Nissan so much, but I just see it as like shitty young dude car because he wants something like sporty, and so I just assume that they're gonna like especially anything like that's sporty looking from Nissan specifically, I think is gonna just really have a dickhead driving a lot of the times.
Okay, noted. I will never pick you up. I will never drop you off. I will never go walk.
Absolutely
no,
devastated.
I have a Nissan Altima, but I do get it. I mean, when I share my rankings,
sorry,
you'll
you know
understand.
what? You're right, because I asked some other people's opinions, but it does depend on like what person is driving that. Because like we said, like with Buick and stuff, if it's an old person driving a Buick, you're probably like, whatever, they're just fucking barely hanging on to life, but they're fine. And then it's gonna be like the young person driving a Buick, and you're like, that person's a dickhead probably.
Oh, 100%.
So you know what? Maybe specifically, if there's a young dude driving a Nissan, I'm assuming that person's a shitty driver and that they're gonna drive like an asshole. But again, my friend, she drives a Nissan, and she'll be horribly offended by this statement. And you do, and I've been in the car with both of you, and I'm still fucking comfortable driving.
I don't think it's offensive. Again, when I share my chart, like, Nissan didn't rank the best, so like I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of like my thing, and then again, what was the thing? I wanted to start this off earlier because, again, as soon as you brought this like topic up, I still thought it was the best thing ever when I fucking hate every time I do this. I'm just gonna say stepbro. You can cut that like pause out, because I'm not gonna say my dad's wife's son. I'm just gonna say my stepbrother, because fucking I'm not. Anyways, you can edit that part, but
no, it's gonna stay in. It's funny.
Fuck.
Watch everybody. Watch. I'm gonna put subtitles.
Me and my Nissan.
I'm gonna put subtitles and be like, watch Meg have a stroke trying to remember the phrase stepbrother.
No, I haven't known them that long. Like, it's been like 5 years. Is that long enough?
Yeah, that's definitely long enough.
It seems weird. I don't know.
All right, your stepbro what? Your stepbro what?
Anyways, we were driving. He's driving me home from work, and someone cuts off like the car in front of us, and he just goes, "My brother in Chrysler. What the fuck are you doing?"
Brother in Chrysler.
What the?
So does that imply that Chrysler forgave every car of their sins?
I don't know, but tell
Are you a
me what kind
Chryslerin?
in the Cars universe, what kind of car is the Pope? Is it a Chrysler? Because if not, what the fuck? I don't know much about the Cars universe. It's a banned topic at work. Anyways, so I just loved that so much, and I literally keep in my mind going, my brother in Chrysler. What the fuck? Personally, that's something that I keep bringing up, but I don't think Chrysler has shown up anywhere on the list. I think that obviously the top one, everyone assumes that BMW drivers are huge dickheads.
It's
And
true.
I asked Nick, and he said that uh, Honda hatchbacks also assholes. You see that car, and he's like, "Yep, I just assume that they're gonna drive like an asshole," which surprised me. But
That surprises me too.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if he just consistently. We did have, I think the last person that pulled out in front of him without a fucking blinker was a Honda hatchback. So maybe it was just living in his mind rent
That's
free.
valid. Again, I mean, like, it's every car and every manufacturer has its, ups and downs, good drivers, bad drivers, whatever. Like, literally no car is going to be perfect. And I think this is just based off all our own personal experiences and like observations. So if you are driving any of these cars, if I'm getting shit on in this podcast,
Hearing her,
you are. Get better.
Got him.
that's the same thing. So, and again, my sister, when I asked her, she said Civic, like a Honda Civic, and I was like, okay, that's fucking two for fucking Hondas, I guess. All shitting on them. And then she said a sports car of any kind, but only if a young person is, or like any kind of like sporty car. If a young guy is driving, if it's an older guy, he's just no longer financially supporting his children. And
Damn.
I went, okay. And that was the feedback.
All right. Meg's mathematics to because I'm the only one here that actually drives, I would like to save mine for last. So from Meg's mathematics to Collin's corner.
Oh, I am the classic passenger princess.
You know what? I don't even blame you.
And I would like
That's
to
cool.
preface, I won't say where for obvious reasons. I live in Florida, so my views on car brands and the drivers behind the wheel are very skewed because this place sucks. If you are driving a Chevy car or SUV, you're probably a solid driver. As soon as you get in a truck down here, I instantly hate you and hope everything bad happens to you.
Agreed.
Same thing with Dodge. If you drive the Dodge cars, you're probably an alright person. If you drive their truck, I hate you. Bad things should happen to you.
I
agree
to that.
I assume though that if you're driving a Dodge car down in Florida, that well, maybe that's based on my assumption of here in New York, because we get like the soldiers and shit, and they drive like assholes, like the fucking new soldiers are like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah.
I am now at a nearby, base and have some kind of money, and so I'm gonna get a fucking Dodge Charger and
Yep.
drive like a dickhead."
I was just gonna say obviously like Dodge, Dodge Ram trucks and stuff like that. You're below F tier. You're below G tier. If I could put you below Z tier, I fucking would. But like if I see you and you're driving a
catch you,
Dodge,
Ricky.
when I catch you, Ricky. But if you're driving a Dodge sedan,
Yeah.
like a Challenger or something like that, I immediately assume that you're a Fed.
That's also true, yeah.
Immediately.
And then I also got like at the same level, because like I have like the classic tier list where it's S, A, B, C, D, F. So I've got like Chevy cars and SUVs, Dodge cars and SUVs, and just Subarus, all at A tier. Never met a bad person driving a Subaru. I might have seen like a couple people in Subarus do some shady shit in traffic, but like not enough where I get angry while as a passenger in the car, not the driver. But the truck variants of Chevy and Dodge, the only good Chevy truck driver that I've met is my dad. Beyond that, I don't think I've seen a Chevy truck driver that I haven't been like, you're kind of a dick.
So true.
And then for B tier, we have Volkswagen, just because a lot of my friends in college were like getting Volkswagen cars, and I think I had one buddy who had like the Volkswagen SUV that they came out with. But like they're not the worst. There's definitely people who give Volkswagen a very bad name. Like the history of Volkswagen also gives it a very bad name. And then
Correct.
Dodge cars and SUVs are a B tier. Dodge trucks, again, they go right to F tier. Kia
Geo.
is also a B. Like my roommate has really nice Kia. I haven't really seen anybody with a Kia be a huge dickhead in traffic, but I know they're out there because I've seen the vehicles Kia produces. Toyota, Nissan, and Hyundai are also B tier because the only people causing issues with them, like we mentioned earlier, are like young guys. And Florida has its fair share of the youth, but it's mostly old people. So I don't see too many people in those vehicles causing a comeuppance on the road. Honda is a C because the number of Honda Civics that everybody thinks it's super cool to kid out and make obnoxiously loud. Hate it every time. Jeep is also C tier because Jeeps are just, the community is very one way or the other. So like you can't just discount all the Jeep drivers, but you certainly can't give them credit. And then GMC is also C tier because most of what they produce are big trucks, but weirdly enough, GMC trucks usually cause the least issues on the road in my experience. But they are still unnecessarily giant trucks most of the time because they kit them out to have the 2 back wheels on both sides.
Yeah.
And then
they're like 3 times taller than your average sedan, so it's like you can't even try to be passive aggressive or aggressive and be in their way because they'll just fucking run you over.
For real.
It's not like they'll see you anyways.
And then I have Ford also in C tier because whether you drive the car or the truck, you're kind of an irritating person. Most Ford drivers I've met are just not super terrific to be around. Mostly because most of the Ford drivers I met were when I lived in the remote regions of New York, so they were alcoholic rednecks.
Fair.
And then the only other 2 car brands I have is I put BMW and Tesla right at F. I was like, you are the worst human beings on the road. Please stop driving. Because most of the other car brands, because like I have the tier list and it shows all like the different car brands there are, but like I cannot recall the last time I saw 90% of the remaining car brands. Like I didn't even bother putting Mercury on the list because like you and I said earlier, Lara, I have never seen a Mercury on the road.
I haven't seen a Mercury in years.
Yeah.
In years.
So that's my list. Let's get the actual experienced driver seat opinion.
Yeah. So I don't know what to rhyme my name with because we have Meg's mathematics because, you know, she was spitting out them specs. Collin's Corner and then Lara's Lowdown. All right. From Collin's Corner to Lara's Lowdown. So as you see here, the tier list that I presented, it is very shittily made. I made it in an hour. And I didn't include many car brands like Jeeps and Chryslers and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, if you like what we're doing, then maybe I will include your car and rank it. Just assume that you're probably going to be like a B or C. So at the top of my list in S is Subaru, just Subaru in general. Like Collin said, I truly have never encountered any problems with Subaru drivers. I've known Subaru drivers and they're very responsible on the road. I'm also a lesbian, so they have to be ranked high. Next is Hyundai Sedan in S, because I personally don't really have many problems on the road with Hyundai Sedans. I'm not going like in depth about like what the car name specifically is. Like, I'm not going to say Honda Civic or anything like that. It's just kind of their sedan, their 4-door car versus, you know, the SUVs and trucks. Like, that's just kind of what it is. And then in third place on the S tier are Honda SUVs. Like the hatchbacks, I've never had a problem with those, personally. I think they drive very safe, sometimes slightly distracted, but when I'm on the road with them, they bounce back quick, and then it's smooth sailing from there. In A tier, we have Toyota SUVs such as RAV4s. I would have put them in S tier because, again, it's something I don't really have a problem with on the road. They tend to drive very safe, but more so than not, they tend to drive a little distracted. Shout out to my mom. Next in A tier, we have Ford sedans, such as the Ford Focus specifically. I don't really have any problems with. The Taurus, Ford Taurus is why they are an A tier. Otherwise, they would be an S. I've known some Ford Focus drivers, and they have not been assholes. They've actually driven not slow, but also not like extremely fast. Probably like 5 above the speed limit or whatever. You know, very responsible, I think. Next in A tier, third place, Chevy SUVs. Again, all A tier is like they don't really have any problems, nothing that I've personally encountered, or like if I've driven this vehicle. When I encounter these vehicles on the road in A tier, if I for whatever reason have to drive this vehicle, I don't have any problems. Of course, to me, I'm like, I'm a fucking perfect driver, right? But I know I'm probably like, if they see me driving a Chevy SUV and they're like, fucking kill yourself. Next is the Honda SUV. I don't really have any problems with them personally. And then final vehicle in A tier are Kia SUVs. The only reason they're in A tier is because I don't encounter too many of them. So I don't really have a problem with them, but I know they exist, and the ones that I have encountered, they've been pretty chill. B tier, Megan, this is where I will agree with you about Nissan sedans not being the best, but I do feel like they're a bit of a wild card of, you have your Nissan sedan drivers in Altimas, Sentras or whatever, and, they drive pretty, I'm not going to say the safest, but I'm not going to say the worst, They're a fairly average driver, or you have, on the other side of the coin, the worst driver you've ever seen in your life. I could not tell you how many times sitting in my little Nissan Altima that I've seen other Altimas, Maximas, whatever, speed by me at the fucking speed of sound. And I'm like, well, now you're making me look bad. Also in B tier, Nissan SUVs. I don't really trust you guys. I see a Nissan SUV on the road and I'm like, you're looking at your phone right now. But again, kind of like with the A tier vehicles, like they bounce back, but then they're like right back on their phone. Like it's just they're too distracted. I don't know what it is, but Nissan SUVs fucking be better. Also in B tier are Toyota trucks, specifically the Tundra. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it is a Toyota truck that those that are driving it are like, well, it's not my American-made, homemade, Jesus Christ, apple pie, blue eyes truck, so I'm just gonna drive it safe. But it's like, I don't know. They're all right. They're still driving a truck, so they definitely got dock points.
No, I actually think that people who are driving like not like American branded like the GMC and stuff, I think those are actually just lesbians. Like in like the Nissan trucks or like the hot like there's I just think that they're lesbians.
See, I see Nissan trucks, and every time it's like an old guy.
Really?
Yeah, but we'll get there. Nissan trucks is on here, but we'll get there. After the Toyota Tundra is Toyota sedans, such as the Camry, and I struggled with this word earlier. I called it Crayola, and that's not right, but I don't remember.
Corolla?
Corolla, yeah, whatever the fuck it is. So they're all right. They're not bad. I think they're in the same problem that Nissan sedans have of they're just too much of a wild card. You're gonna have your Nissan sedans, your Camrys that are driving super safe and responsible, and then you have your other young drivers, especially it's like Camrys. They're one of the most like vehicles because of just how sporty they look, but how like accessible they are, and I think that ties into like the young drivers being drawn into like, oh, this new vehicle that is affordable to me looks great, and I'm gonna go drive it like an asshole. So they're in B tier. Next is the final car in B tier are Honda sedans, like Civics. I just really think this is the most average driver on the road. Truly, like they're just chilling. A Honda sedan, if they drive a Honda sedan, they're just a guy. This is an NPC. Now in C tier, starting strong are Chevy sedans such as Cruze, Volts, Malibus. You guys kind of suck, but you're not the worst. Definitely need to revisit like Driver's Ed or something. Next in C tier, Tesla. If you're driving a Tesla, you just suck. But I gave you extra points because it is a electric vehicle, so you're doing your part, but you're doing it shittily. Finally, in C tier, Honda trucks. I haven't encountered many, but you're driving a truck, so you got points taken away from you. D tier. This is what we were talking about earlier. First up, Nissan trucks. I just associate, I think it's because my grandpa, most of my life, he drove and owned a Nissan truck, and, like, we had it for a while, and it's just like, like, that was grandpa's truck. I don't know, I think anytime I see a Nissan truck, I think of an old man. Like, when I see the people that get out of Nissan trucks, at least from what I've seen, they're always just old men. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. I mean, it's definitely said, like, I was just trying to. It's so rare to see them, so I'm trying to think of, like,
It really
specifically.
is.
I don't know. I guess I just knew two lesbians that drove, like, not,
Oh, damn, I
Chevy
should have put them in.
Ford or
I knew
Dodge.
lesbian. If I knew lesbians like this truck, I would have put them in B tier. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No. It
I
may
let
not
you
be.
down.
Maybe it's just my experience. That's the thing. Like,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
so
that's
subjective.
another thing too, is that, like, these lists are just based off our observances and our experiences on the road,
Also, the
either by
lesbians I
ourselves or
knew,
with
I think
others.
they were kind of shitty. So
Okay, so yeah, so fuck Nissan
they're just
trucks. This is why
shitty
you're in
people.
D tier. You drive like an old man. You take turns either way too fast or way too incredibly slow. You probably don't turn your turn signal on until, like, the very last second. And that ties into my second D tier option here, which is Ford SUVs. I think everybody can agree, if you're driving a Ford SUV like the Ford Escape, you suck. You want to be a soccer mom so bad, but you drive a Ford SUV.
That's true. Also, soccer moms are terrible drivers at times.
That too.
Because you know that if she's, no offense, I'm going to say something real shitty right now. Every time I've met a single soccer mom, she either shows up early to her kid's event or she is cutting people off in traffic because she's like a minute late already.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you know who that is? That's the Ford SUV. Our final option in D tier is a Kia sedan. I haven't encountered many, but the ones that I have encountered are cutting me off all the time. They're running the red lights. They're to me, if you're driving a Kia sedan, you're the type of person that is blasting music out of your car at like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. Why? Because you just want to be a dick. F tier is first up, Chevy trucks. Unlifted or lifted, you just fucking suck. Accessorized or no accessories, you suck. I have almost every accident that I have been involved in has been because of a Chevy Silverado, especially on because we are in New York, on 81, to pretty much go anywhere fast in New York, hop on 81 and you'll get there. And I don't know what it is, but Chevy trucks love to drive on 81 like they own the fucking road. They think they're Moses and they can just part the cars like the Red Sea, but they can't, and they have almost killed me because of that reason.
You know what it
Many.
is? They go, I'm in big truck. You have to get out of my way because my truck is so big, it's gonna run you over if you don't move.
Right.
It's that fucking mentality of like, I big truck, you should be scared of me.
Right. It's
Get out of my
exactly
way.
what I said uh with Collin's thing. Like, it's, these people, they drive these lifted, loud, accessorized trucks. Like, it's so big to the point that, like, if you don't get out of the way, like, you are going to get hurt. Your car is going to, like, end up missing its whole fucking back bumper. Like, their trucks are so pimped out, it just you're given no option but to get out of their way.
And they know that, and they take advantage of
And
that.
they
And
take advantage of it. I hate it.
you know
But we
what's
will
so
get
funny
to
though?
lifted.
So sorry. So sorry though. You know what's so funny though? Is that we do live in New York and some of these motherfuckers think that they can drive. Well, I got a pickup truck. I got a 4-wheel drive. And then you
Yeah.
see them in a fucking ditch.
I love it. The best feeling in the world, so sorry to the people that have died, but the best feeling in the world is when a car speeds past you, and then, maybe like 15 minutes later ish, you see that same car, like, against a wall, in a ditch, somewhere where that person who was driving recklessly is hurt. It's like, yeah, you kind of deserve it.
Yeah, play
Like,
stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Exactly. You were putting other people's lives at risk, and you got played. The world works in mysterious ways. So the final vehicle we have in F tier is Ford trucks, pretty much for the same exact reason of Chevy Silverados, except I have encountered the reason they're in second place of F tier is only because I have encountered the Ford F-150s or F-350s, whatever, that are purely for work purposes only, drive totally fine. But they're so, like, the ones that have the, like, paint job done where it's all advertisement, you know, like, representing their company or their business, like, in my opinion, they drive all right. They drive like an average guy, but there's so few and far between of those vehicles that your average F-150 driver is driving like a dick.
Yeah, I could see that.
So below F tier, we have lifted trucks because they just fucking suck, dude. If you have a lifted truck, if your truck muffler is sounding like a dinosaur, like, you are absolute shit, and I hate you. I think you should die.
As somebody who went to Alfred State for 3 years, lifted trucks should be illegal.
Exactly. So first in lifted trucks category, Chevy Silverado. Literally, I don't even know what to say to you because you just fucking suck. You suck so bad. You probably smell like fucking rotten eggs. Your truck probably smells like fucking cigarettes, and no one ever wants to get in it. I can imagine you have chew cans all over the place, spit bottles all over the place. You probably tried to put up lights in your truck to make it look like cool inside or whatever, but all you're doing is just highlighting how much trash you have on the floor. Next in lifted trucks is Ford, which I think everybody can agree. The lifted Ford F-150s, fucking, I don't even know, 690s, whatever they fucking have now. You drive like an asshole.
Hey, can I tell you something? Those F-150s, 250, and 350, that means something. It's like about it, like specifically about the engine. It's not just them trying to be like cool with numbers. So like a 350, right?
Oh yeah, no,
Diesel engine, usually meant.
I understand that it's like different. I guess what we would call specs in the nerd community. Different, you know. It's different variations of the same truck, of the same vehicle, and like different what's it called, like commodities or whatever inside the vehicle. Like, it's just little things that separate it.
It's usually the engine. So like if it's like a V6 or a V8, or if it's a diesel. So like a 350 is usually a diesel.
Yeah.
Or diesel. You might be able to get a non-diesel for 350. I don't know with every brand, but I just know that the 350 for like the Dodge that my dad drives is the diesel, for like the diesel engine of it, and then my dad's got the 250, which is the V8, and then I think that the 150 is the, you know.
Well, either way, no matter what you drive, if it's lifted, fucking suck my dick. I hate you. You have almost killed so many people. You probably have killed people, actually. I can imagine if we looked up the statistics of drunk driving, your Ford F1 fucking fuck your mom is up there high. I can imagine. And then in third place is if you have a Toyota lifted truck, why? Anyways. And in the very final, dead last, dog water tier, Dodge Ram. I don't care what Dodge Ram you drive, you suck. Everyone hates you. You hate you. You probably know that you suck. Your mom knows that you suck. She's telling you she hates you. You should probably kill yourself. You probably suck toes and then, like, get the toe jam out between your teeth with the toenails. Like, you're just disgusting and everyone hates you. The same problem of, like, dirty inside Chevy Silverado, that's you times 10. And that's just your personality. That's not even inside the truck.
Is everything all right at home, Lara? Is everything going
I hate
all right?
Dodge Rams. I hate Dodge Rams. If you dodge a Ram, cool. If you drive a Dodge Ram, kill yourself. I'm gonna fuck your mom and then change the Wi-Fi password.
Funny enough.
Oh my god.
Listen, my dad drives a Dodge Ram. It's a big old 2500 pickup.
Well, everything I just said about your dad, I'll tell him to his face. I don't give a shit. You can play this podcast for him. Go for it.
Send only this episode to your dad.
But I was just gonna say, like, technically, I mean, you could fuck my mom, like, she's a lesbian now, so
Yeah, but she likes French
She's also
people.
French.
yeah, yeah. So I guess saving there, but yeah. So sorry, I also brought up more statistics depending on how much time we have left. Okay, so we got some time because I did bring up
We got some
DUI
time, and
as
then
my car model.
I will have to, if we're doing like actual, like if there's just gonna be for YouTube, if there's gonna be like a video, I have to subtitle it because for 5 minutes I had to run to my bathroom and shit so bad. But like you were on one, and I was like, if I interrupt Lara's flow, we're gonna miss out on such quality because she's just getting angrier and angrier as this list goes down.
Fuck
I was like, I cannot let Lara catch her breath. She needs to stay angry as she goes over these cars.
I appreciate it. Okay,
I just
so
have
yeah,
to put
40,
like a little subtitle that says Collin had to leave for a minute.
Yeah, just put so 40 minutes. Yeah, if you just want to run through maybe like top 5, top 10, and then I believe it's my turn to ask a question, and we're done.
Yeah. Again, this is on drivers per 1,000 with one or more DUI citations on their record, and Acura, number 1 with, it looks like
Really?
48. It looks like something like
Damn.
48. It's between its high 40s, has not crossed that 50 line yet. And then we've got a Chevrolet Astro, which is the next top one, quickly followed by the Audi A4. And then again, the Nissan NV, pretty close to that, over 30. And then GMC Suburban, Cadillac Seville, Chevy Caprice, the Audi A5, Toyota Land Cruiser, and then the Buick Lucerne.
That's crazy. That's not at all what I was expecting.
This is 2022. But that was not what I was expecting either. That's why I thought it was fucking nuts. But yeah, Acura.
Wow.
Wild way to start that shit off.
Since we're talking about drunk driving,
Jesus.
I believe it is my turn to ask a question for the week, which is
Who's your
my
favorite
first
drunk
question.
driver?
No, but my question for y'all is what toxic trait has been normalized by society?
Cheating for sure.
Ooh,
Everybody
that's a good
just
one.
thinks it's common and that it's just a thing you should be ready to. And I'm like, no, you should just not cheat in a relationship, you weirdos.
Right, like, what, you don't fucking talk to each other? What the fuck? Like, that doesn't make, it's never made any sense to me. And people are like, well, people cheat sometimes. And it's like, yeah, why? Why do you say it like that? Why do you say, like, it's like not, like, oh, it's so commonplace now. Well, why? Why is that a thing? It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm fucking fully in support of that being a fucking way too commonplace, way too accepted, fucking normalized bullshit thing. Ew. Cheating.
Mine was just one that annoyed me and annoys me a lot is being expected to be. This works like for in relationships of any kind, and especially I think like in the workplace as well, but being expected to be on call.
Oh yeah.
24/7, fuck it, 25/8. When you're sleeping, when you're eating, when you're shitting, when you're in the shower, you are expected to answer. I hate that shit so much. I feel like,
understand that.
yeah, I just feel like so many people think that, like, I guess if we're waiting in line, like, they'll see people, waiting in line looking at their phone. They'll see people on the bus looking at their phone. They'll see people, like, they'll invite people over and see them on their phone. It's just like people have tied, like, you as an individual, everyone as an individual, whatever, to their phone, to their technology. It's like, if you own this, then you're on it 24/7. And it drives me nuts when people are like, oh, well, I sent a text 5 minutes ago and I never got a response from them. And then it leads to kind of what Collin said of like, well, they're probably out cheating. They're probably out doing this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it drives me freaking bonkers.
And I think that that's what's so crazy too is like a lot of people like if they're the ones that don't have their phone on them for whatever reason and someone's like where the fuck were you, what's going on, and they're like the most like defensive, like god, like what, I can't have any fucking time to myself. But then they're also a lot of times like that same person is like the fuck, what do you mean you're not texting me back? And it's like we're all
Right.
humans, we all have fucking lives, things pop up, things get in the way, like, and it's not even that they get in the way, it's like it's I don't know, I think it is so expected that you have your phone on you, and I completely agree with you to the point where one of the first things that like I started talking to somebody on, like dating apps and shit, and I was like, "What's your expectation as far as like communication frequency goes?" Because I
Mhm.
know some people have very different expectations. Some
That's a
people are
good
like, "If
question,
we
yeah.
don't talk every day, then I feel bad. I feel like you don't want to talk to me and hang out with me." Like some people just need that constant because they're so used to constant communication. And like that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself if you are someone who's like, yeah, I can talk every day. Like as long as it's like a check-in or whatever every day, and it is one of the first things that I ask because people have just such different communication expectations and stuff like that. I felt actually really bad. I had someone that I started talking with, and she kind of like dropped off for more than just a little over like 24 hours, but like I had like left the conversation open. I was like, "Hey, we're creeping up on or no, it had to be more than 24 hours because I don't think I'm that needy." I think it was like a
Exposing yourself, damn.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it was even that. I think it had to have been longer, but I was like,
I sent a
"Hey,
text at
like
5 p.m. on the 8th, and she didn't respond by the 9th. 5 p.m.
she doesn't want to
She's
talk to me."
dead.
Well, it's so fucking rough with like dating apps and stuff like that because you're like, okay, because like ghosting is such a thing, and having it be like,
Right,
listen,
right.
did I say something off putting? Because I'm fucking weird sometimes, and I know that. So like sometimes like you're just weird, and a person decided not for me, and you just have to like catch on to that because they're not gonna tell you that because it's not apparently socially acceptable to be like, you know what, I just don't feel that kind of vibe, which I think is weird in and of itself. That's another thing that's not normalized. Like there, that's normalized. That's my answer. Ghosting and stuff like that. Instead of just being like,
Mhm,
"Hey, you
mhm.
know what? I'm just like not feeling that kind of vibe." So unfortunately, like if you want to talk and be friends, or even if you're not, and like, hey, like, listen, you seem really nice. Doesn't seem like we're kind of on the same like vibe and path of things. So I think that it's better to kind of just stop the chats now. That's like that to me is such a totally acceptable like conversation to have with someone, and I feel like it's not. And like people are like, why? Oh, I have to tell someone that I don't want to talk to them anymore. And it's like, yeah, well, you barely know this person already. What's so
Common
offensive
decency.
about right? Like, and I feel like people are like, well, isn't that worse to just like outright? No, it's not because you just fucking used communication skill. I don't know, but
I will admit, though, I am a chronic ghoster. I love just dipping.
that's fucking nuts to me because like I just can't imagine like sometimes shit falls off my brain. Like as someone with ADHD, like I forget out of sight, out of mind. It just
Absolutely.
like the actual thoughts just are not there anymore. I will forget your existence as a person, but it's not anything intentional. And like if something pops up and a person like comments on it or is like, oh hey, like I remember it's not because I'm like intentionally like no longer talking to you without communicating it to you. And that's what fucking I think is like weird and kind of toxic. I don't know, it's just weird to just like you're in the middle of a fucking conversation with sometimes and it's like what just happened? Like we were having like a normal like back and forth chat. And so for like that's what's really weird. Where like things didn't necessarily have like a concise end, but there's like a back and forth chat of being like, oh, like, oh yeah, no, I'm working on this like project, doing this thing for work, and this person like comments about something about their job, and then you comment something about, oh like yeah, this would work, and then there's just never a response, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? What just like that
Right,
part
right.
like gets me, and so like I like waited. I want to say like I think over. It had to be over 24 hours because I'm not like I said I'm not that fucking needy where I'm like well life happens.
Okay, we'll give you 48 hours, but I don't know. You said 24 hours
I
first, so
did. I did. I'm literally
but
pulling it up.
I'll let you slide with 48.
Okay. Let's see. So this looks like it was Bumble apparently does not want you to know when you last fucking spoke to someone. Oh, okay.
Well,
So yeah.
ladies on Bumble in the New York area, check Meg out.
So
Perfect.
it looks like July 29th, and I didn't message back until August 1st. I gave way more than 24 hours. Way more than 24 hours.
Oh yeah, she ghosted. She dipped.
No, she didn't, because like as soon as I was like, hey, like hope you're well, not to add any pressure on you, because she did say that she was starting a new job. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
listen, should be like that. Like my last message was on, so like I messaged the 29th and I was the last one to message. And it was just an info dump about buying properties because we were talking about random shit. And then I said like, oh hey, good luck on the new job today. Hope you have a great day. And that was like Monday. And then not until the 1st did I say like, hey, hope you're well, not to add any pressure on you given you're starting the new job. Just checking in. I'm like, I'm not used to these types of apps, unsure about the usual like pace of chats and such. Like / what communication expectations you have. Wanted to check in to see if you're still interested in chatting. I am. But some people kind of catch that vibe and say it's not for me sooner. So let me know if you're uncomfortable. I'll get the message pretty quickly. And she's like, oh my God, here's my cell phone number. I just completely like goldfish, like out of sight, out of mind. You see the notification pop up. And so I ended up getting her cell phone number. Which, hey, like that's a completely okay thing. Like I tried to make it like super like non-pressure or whatever. But
Right.
the other person that I was talking to similarly has not messaged back. They dropped off mid-conversation, same way, kind of like just like
So the woman who ghosted Meg and dropped it, can you reach out to us and can we invite you on the podcast?
Why? Why?
Why not? I'm trying to hook you up.
Valid. Listen.
Or woman who gave Meg their number, give me your number instead. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen. You
Brutal.
do that shit to me, okay?
Brutal.
No. We'll just set you guys up on a date. Content, baby. Me and Collin. No. Listen, me and Collin will cook and we'll be the entertainment, dude.
I can make chicken wing dip and fucking grilled cheese. I got you. 5-star dinner.
Yeah.
Anything that I know how to cook is specifically to spite my acid reflux. So I hope you bring acid reducers with you, because if you don't have acid reflux, you will by the end of the meal.
It's okay. Instead of bringing out mints, I'll bring out Tums.
Perfect. Covered. Golden.
Dude.
Bring out like a pre-dinner Tum and then a post-dinner Tum.
She would pounce on you.
Shut up. Because here's something way more important. Here's someone that was not messaging me for any romantic reasons, because literally we might have to cut this because I don't know if she's super comfortable about it. But I'm looking through lesbians and stuff on Bumble or whatever. One of these people pops up, says like, I'm gonna eat like cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes or whatever they are, like their popcorn.
I thought this was going in a very different direction.
Yo, same. I was like, Meg, where are we going with this?
Shut up. I need to get through this. Listen. So her whole thing is that she's like on a dairy farm, and she's got all these like horses and cows and shit, and like farm person, right? And I have been thinking about doing like all of that, like homesteading and buying land and stuff. So I'm like, yo, first of all, you'll do that because you have fantastic taste. 1, because I love me some tomatoes, and 2, also, and I literally like, you get like a limited amount of comments. I don't know if you guys have used Bumble, but you get like a limited amount when you don't pay for shit to like send like super likes or whatever the fuck they're called. Like you can send like a comment. So I sent like a comment, and I was like, hey, match with me and if you want to answer some questions about like agriculture stuff. And she did. She literally matched with me and was like, yeah, I just do most of like the animal care stuff, but like, what do you got for questions? And I was like, this person's so fucking cool.
Hook, line, and sinker, baby.
No, because that's the thing. Like, clearly, like, here's the thing.
All right, before we get too personal, before we get a little too personal here,
that's for the Patreon only.
Patreon only here. Let us know if you agree or disagree, or if you're butthurt because you drive a Dodge Ram. But on that note, keep it wavy.